So hello, welcome again to an interesting Greek learning video. And today I want to briefly show you something about Google Translate and why you should not trust Google and AI too much. I know that AI is fashionable for language learning, and it does make sense perhaps to have somebody to talk to when you don't have a Greek partner to talk to. You can try ChatGPT, you can talk Greek to it, but the problem is that you never know how good the Greek will be. So in terms of large language models, I have tried many of them, and the one I consistently see having fewer mistakes than the others is Gemini. The more advanced Gemini versions is pretty okay with Greek, but many other models, for example, ChatGPT, is very, very bad. So it will produce grammatical errors, or produce translations that are not good enough. So you will find many mistakes in there. So treat a large language model, although it can still be useful, treat it always like a friend who is also just learning Greek and might know some things that you don't know, but they might also make mistakes where you know better. So don't just believe it as if it's the word from God, right? It is not. It's a machine, and Greek is complex, and the machine does get it wrong. And also Google Translate, which is less understandable because Google Translate is around for many, many years now, and it does not use large language models, and you would expect that somebody would have checked the data or the way this works. But no, it works very badly, and for no good reason, actually. And I will show you here what I mean. So the first word we should look at is hieros and hieros. These are two words that are written the same, but the tone, the stress is on a different syllable. Hieros means old, an old man. It's used for people. And hieros means sturdy. But as you can see here, I have done it with Google Translate. If you enter hieros in Google Translate, you get old too, which is totally wrong. It does not mean old. More examples of this effect of ignoring the tones. Achladia are the pears. This is correct, but achladia is the pear tree. And this is wrong here to say pear, or at least it's ambiguous, because pear could mean the tree, it could also mean the fruit. The Greek word cannot mean the fruit. Achladia is always the tree. We have Thea and Thea. Thea is the goddess, and Thea is the view from some viewpoint. You are going to a nice mountain, looking down at the countryside. That's your Thea. It has nothing to do with the goddess, but again, Google does not consider the tone, so they seem to just remove the tones, and it gives you goddess. It gives you a random word, right? Although, if you look under it, it says Thea goddess, which is wrong, definitely. But if you look under it, as you can see here, it does say then view and side and scenery and outlook, which is the correct translation. So it's only the box up there that is wrong, but under it you will find the right translation. Another thing, podia and podia. Podia are the feet, and podia is the apron. So if I look for podia, yes, I get the apron. If I just say podia, it will say apron again, which is wrong. Podia are the feet. And if I want to say ta podia, then I can force it to understand the legs if I put the article, because if it was the apron, it would be I podia. So it ignores the tones, but it sees the words, and so by adding the article, you force it to understand that this now is the plural, it means the legs. There are many, many such words in Greek, right? This is why it's important to learn your tones, your stresses. Kephalia is the head shot in football. When the ball comes to your head and you kick it with your head, right? That's a kephalia. And kephalia are the heads, plural, the heads of these people over there, which are in front of me, and so I cannot see the movie. Here, it doesn't help. If I say il fallar, you would expect him now to know what I mean, but it says the head. This is wrong. It's not the head, it's the head shot in football. Matja is a look, that's correct. Matja are the eyes. It's a plural, the eyes. It's not the look. This is wrong. Ta Matja, again, if I put the article there, I force it to understand that now I mean the plural, so now it's the eyes. Another thing happens if you use the right sigma. You know that the sigma in Greek, if it's inside the word, it's this normal little sigma, but if it is at the end of the word, you have to use the final sigma, which looks more like a Latin S, and Google completely ignores the final sigma and writes everything with the inward sigma. Although the rule is so easy, it's just if it's at the end, you change it, right? There is no ambiguity there. But Google has decided to not spend one more line of programming code to make this work. Instead, now you can search Vasilis wrongly using the wrong sigma. You get all the right results with Vasilis, but the Vasilis written wrongly, which certainly is not the case if you click on this, you will not get the wrong sigma because nobody in Greece would write it like this. But strangely, you also get a correct one. If you look down there, the third from the bottom, Vasilis Logothetides, suddenly there the Vasilis is correct. So it's not even consistent in its craziness, right? And if I now write the final S inside the word, so the opposite, I don't write the inward S at the end, but I write the final S inside the word, then it doesn't work at all. It completely crashes. So this Vasilis, although, it's the same mistake like before, only the other way around, this does not work at all. It doesn't find any Vasilis. Okay, the first one, which doesn't have any tones, but then he goes to Valis and Vasivarlis, which doesn't mean anything. And, it's all horrible results that don't mean anything. So it's not even that the middle word sigma and the final sigma are equivalent. They are not, because the final sigma does have a special status. This is why it's not recognized here as a sigma at all. So that's just a warning, if you know these things and are careful, then you can use Google Translate. Just remember, it seems to work like this, that it completely ignores the tones. So always when you look up a word, look it up at least either in a sentence or together with its article, so that from the article, Google Translate can know if you mean the singular or the plural version. Often that will make a difference, but not always. Hieros and hieros, for example, are both singular. They are both can be used as adjectives, so there's no grammatical way to distinguish between them when you type them. There you have to accept that you will get a wrong result. Best, don't use Google Translate for Greek, or use it very cautiously. And if it doesn't seem to make sense, then assume Google Translate is wrong. Don't assume that your source is wrong or the person you're speaking to is crazy. But Google Translate is probably failing there. Okay, let's hope one day they will fix it. They certainly have enough Greeks at Google, right? It's very common for Greek scientists to be employed by Google. So it is a mystery why they have not yet bothered to fix these things. Thank you from here, and see you next time. Bye-bye.